Guys, I'm Andy from the ICO Review channel, and if you want to see more in-depth reviews, come over and do the whole follow subscribe thing, but for now we're taking a look at the W12 ICO. So at a glance, they are an open protocol for creating and executing smart contracts and decentralized autonomous organization. I'll let you Google that one. So it sounds great, but what does all that mean? So as a company, what you're able to do is use the W12 platform to generate smart contracts for your ICO, crowdfunding campaign, charity, whatever it might be, but you don't need to have any sort of programming knowledge or anyone on your team necessarily with any smart contract programming knowledge. On paper, W12 is drastically lowering the barrier to entry for executing smart contracts, but then for the ICO investor, through using the W12 platform to actually invest in ICOs or participate in crowdfunding, we're talking about driving down the risk of getting caught up in fraudulent activity like exit scams, etc., as well as actually increasing the success potentially of crowdfunding projects due to preventing the misappropriation of funds, or the alleged misappropriation of funds, which we've seen in projects like Titanium. And then of course for charities, etc., everything is very much more transparent. I say that because of their Oracle system, where funds are only received by the project after the project has actually reached predetermined milestones. And this whole Oracle system actually allows, investors, you, the ICO participant or charity participant or crowdfunding participant, to track the progress of that project approaching certain milestones. You know exactly where they're at, and the company isn't crafting a false narrative just to turn into an exit scam and bail with the dollars a couple of months down the track. That's all well and good for me to say though, reading a white paper or having a look at the pages on the website, having a look at the pitch deck. But much to my pleasant surprise, W12 has a litany of demos and things that you can actually check out, MVPs, etc. So let's take a quick look. So you can go here, hopefully links in the description, where you can test out the blockchain portion. All of the steps are laid out for you on the page here in front of you, but I do believe it involves buying some tokens. Then we've got this whole section, which is actually the marketplace. You'll need to log in, I believe, to actually access this area. Creating an account super easy. So having just a look at upcoming ICOs. Let's see what happens when we click on one. Very cool. So the ICO gets rated by users in the community. You can link through to the website. There's rundowns of teams, roadmaps, token economics, but the ability to buy tokens isn't yet enabled. But with that being said, I think that in terms of a marketplace, this is a little bit more than a minimal viable product. They've got the infrastructure in place, and it gives you a pretty good idea of what you'll be dealing with a little bit later on. And then of course you've got the area where you can launch your own project, which is pretty cool. It opens up this whole form, you go through, fill out the criteria, etc., etc. The point being that there's already a lot of infrastructure in place, which is something that we never used to see in the ICO space 12 months ago, even 6 months ago. So it's refreshing and gives me a degree of confidence. But they keep showing mobile apps, pictures of mobile apps, and I haven't been able to find a mobile app anywhere. I'm sure it's intended though. When looking at ICOs as well, I always like to try and speculate as to, projected adoption, and saturation seems to be the main indicator these days. So I've spent a lot of time at roadshows through 2017, 2018. In terms of the platform, they've got about 100 people lined up to actually be in the ICO marketplace, allegedly, according to their pitch deck. But more noteworthy, in my opinion, are cooperation agreements between W12, Endorse, and Bancor. And I imagine all of you have heard of either Bancor or Endorse, most likely Bancor. And a lot of projects are only as good as their team, and yay, they've got a team. That's good. There's a team here. But what matters to me the most is that the LinkedIn things actually work. The LinkedIn links actually work when you press on them. It's just transparency for me. You can actually pop through, see the person exists, is real, see nothing fishy is going on. I haven't been through all of them, full disclosure, but it seems like the top names are real actual flesh people, but with relevant experience to a project like this one. So yes, there's a lot of entrepreneurialism on the team, but thankfully there's relevant experience with a few people in blockchain and a lot of people in IT. Let's talk about the token then, keeping it short. In terms of the utility, the token itself will be used as a reserve for funds for any project that is funded on the W12 platform. And that does go a little bit more in depth, but basically as long as projects are actually using W12 to be funded, there'll be demand for the W12 token. But then of course actually using the W12 token to purchase the relevant tokens for any ICO that is hosted on the W12 platform. So it has pre-existing utility, or soon to be existing utility, but more importantly, with the whole smart contract basis of this entire platform, one can argue that it's not just a token for token's sake. And the token price without the discounts sits right now at about 8 US cents. But you can see right now with the ICO going on that there's like a 3.4% discount. So it's reasonably priced, and with a little bit of quick math, I think that puts our hard cap under 5 mil, which in the current market is pretty reasonable. Final thoughts. I do actually think I'll throw a few ETH at this one. However, I do want to do a little bit more research into whether they'll be listing on external exchanges other than Bandcore, or whether it's just going to be Bandcore and their own internal exchange, because of course all of these things can affect liquidity, especially from a speculative standpoint. Other than that, if you like the look of this project, go have a look at the website, check out their white paper, their Telegram, and of course, as always, do your own due diligence. I have been your crypto enthusiast, and I will see you in the next review.